Zoo Tycoon had a long history of including extinct animals in its expansion packs, and with this pack, we're going to look at some that could come to Planet Zoo. Even though Frontier already has a dinosaur simulation game with Jurassic World Evolution 1 and 2, Frontier could bring some extinct creatures into Planet Zoo with more recently extinct species that actually are undergoing de-extinction events currently or are in the works. So, I'm Greyhammer, and today we're going to go into the Echoes of the Past DLC speculation. So let's get into it. First animal, and this would be your flagship animal for the just different species, is the woolly mammoth. It went extinct roughly around 1500 BC, a lot earlier or more recent than people expect. There was an island off the coast of Russia, Wrangel Island, where they survived up to about 3,000 to 4,000 years ago. So very cool. They are native to the grasslands and tundra environments of Europe, Asia, and North America, where the land it was a lot warmer back then in different areas, or at least less forest. Genetic material is often found from frozen remains in Arctic regions. In fact, in some areas, there's a great industry on scavenging mammoth remains because these frozen remains retain their DNA, and so the woolly mammoth actually has its genome fully sequenced. So definitely a species that we could see in the near future. In fact, Colossal Biosciences, which is doing most of the work on the de-extinction front, claims that we could have a mammoth in as soon as 4 years using DNA from Asian elephants. Thylacine is the next one, also under the works with Colossal Bioscience. It supposedly went extinct in 1936, though sightings are still relatively frequent, unconfirmed. Native to the mainland Australia, Tasmania, and Papua New Guinea in temperate forest, but it was regulated to Tasmania in the later days of its before it went extinct. We have multiple museum specimens of this creature that hold DNA. I'm not sure whether its full DNA sequence has been sequenced. I would expect so, since Colossal Bioscience has their hands on the Thylacine project, and they have Harvard's genetics program working on it. So that's another cool species we could see. Would be very nice to add to our Oceania flora and fauna. In fact, there's a few species in here that would add to that. The woolly mammoth is not one of those, but will be cool to add for a North American species. The dodo is our next species, becoming extinct in around 1662. Lived on the island of Mauritius in tropical rainforest. That island is right off the coast of Madagascar, so kind of in that chain of islands. The genetic material can be found in some museums, though the remains are scant, but this is also another possible project of Colossal Biosciences. So they are, again, going to be using pigeon DNA to try and recreate this species. Could be a very cool addition. In fact, we had now understand that they went extinct due to different reasons than we originally thought. It was originally thought that they went extinct due to overhunting, but it was in fact due because of introduced hogs and monkey species, which are being removed as part of Colossal Biosciences project, I do believe. So next species, we've got the quagga. It's a subspecies of the plain zebra that went extinct in 1878. They are found in the deserts and grasslands of South Africa, so the Karoo kind of areas, and the Karoo and Highveld. Genetic material can be found on some living zebras and museum specimens. There is a breed back program for these, where they are taking zebras with reduced striping and kind of trying to backbreed to the quagga. So if you couple that with possible museum specimens, you could maybe get some genetic research. And so that's kind of going to be part of this pack, is how that works. The Aurochs is our next species. It's the ancestor of the domestic cow that went extinct in 1601, living in the temperate forest, wetlands, grasslands, and taiga of Europe and Asia. And their genetic material can still be found in modern cattle. There's been multiple breeding back programs through. You have the Heck cattle are an example. You've got more recent examples with Rewilding Europe does a lot of those projects. So we have similar species to the Aurochs. So this zoo project could be, through your zoo's research, could unlock the genetics of the Aurochs. These are all habitat animals so far, by the way, in case you couldn't tell. The next one is the bush moa, the smallest species of flightless bird in the moa family. Not actually related to ratites, though they are probably going to be using ratite DNA to fill in sequences. They're closer related to tinamous of South America. They are a flightless bird that went extinct in the 15th to 16th centuries, native to temperate forest of New Zealand, hunted by animals such as the haast eagle. We have an almost complete DNA sequence that was constructed from a toe bone that was sacrificed to genetic research. So this species would be about the same size as a turkey. I think it would be a really cool species to have in Planet Zoo. Very cool. And yeah, let's get into our next species, which is a walk-through exhibit species, the passenger pigeon. It went extinct in 1914 in captivity in the Cincinnati Zoo. I, in fact, went to the Cincinnati Zoo a little while ago, about probably a decade ago, and you get to see their little passenger pigeon museum where they have specimens of passenger pigeons. They are native to the eastern United States and Canada in temperate forest. Many of their remains can be found in museums and zoos, such as the Cincinnati Zoo, the Smithsonian Museum. You've got plenty of passenger pigeon remains, and they're also being worked on, pretty sure, by Colossal Biosciences, but also another project that I'm blanking on the name now. So these are all species that would be really cool to have in Planet Zoo, in my opinion. Let me know in the comments which of these species are your favorite, and if you'd like to swap any of those out. I tried to pick the 7 most reasonable species that could come from extinction. The woolly mammoth is a bit of a stretch, but because there's been a lot of work on it, because it's just easier to get people excited about this project with a great flagship species like the mammoth. But if you have another species you'd prefer to see, then let me know in the comments below. But let's go into kind of how this pack would work, which I don't really do in most of my packs, but I feel like it would be necessary in this one. So features. You're going to research species to unlock genes, allowing you to then use conservation credits to clone the species from extinction. Cloned species will give a large bonus if donated to rewilding centers, especially if genetics are higher. So you could have rewilding projects that are asking for you to have donations to their rewilding projects. And if the DNA would be, so your genetics for your animals would be lower than most animals at the start, and then if you can breed their genetics mutations to improve, then you'll get better bonuses from the rewilding centers. To research the species, you would need to, or to unlock the species, you'd need to research the Asian elephant for the woolly mammoth, Tasmanian devil for the thylacine, Dodo Indian peafowl, or maybe even the swan. Maybe you do the swan for Dodo, even though their closest relative is the Victoria crowned pigeon. Quagga, plains zebra, aurochs, the highland cattle, bush moa, the emu, and the passenger pigeon, probably the Indian peafowl. But I'm not happy with that choice. It's just what we have to deal with on that. That's going to be it for this video. If you did like this idea, do go ahead and please like this video. Go ahead and subscribe if you want to see more Planet Zoo videos and other types of content. And yeah, just please leave in the comments what species you'd be interested in. If you think this idea works, I know that this is probably more of a controversial pick for a DLC, but I think it would be really cool. Kind of bring awareness to this de-extinction that I don't think has really been too popularized, but is very interesting for sure, and very interesting in how it's going to affect conservation for the species we have with these animals having their DNA sequences more known, then you can save species like the elephant from elephant herpes, or the Tasmanian devil from things like their facial tumors. So yeah, that's going to be it for this one. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.